seem to love it, love American comics all over the world.
Yeah.
I've had the same experience. You know, they don't throw big parties for me, but wherever I go, they're into American comics, and comic books especially.
I think it's that glimmer of hope that we
Yeah.
that you should try to put into everything. That
Yeah.
you know, as bad as anything gets, you can survive. You can achieve.
Well, speaking of comic books, I think we're now going to let you do what you do best. We're going to get you over to that drawing board. I know everybody's been waiting for it, and we're going to see you draw. And even if everybody hasn't been waiting, I am eagerly waiting to do that. So you think you can make it from here to there? I know you're probably all wired up with microphones and stuff. What do you say we try it?
Let me
You
loosen
can do
the
it without
chain.
tripping. I'm going to take my little notes over here. Okay. Here we are. We have everything set for you. We have 5 pens, and we have some illustration board, which is very expensive, so treat it well.
Looks like an operating room.
That's right. I'll be the nurse, and I'll hand you the instruments if you wish. Here's a nice little, which I can't get off the tape. There you go.
It's called Sharpies.
All right. Now, what do you say? What do you say we start out? We'll start out simply, and then we're going to get real complicated with you. How about a face? How about showing us a simple little face, and then what you would do to give it all the drama that we'd want in a comic book, preferably a Marvel comic book.
Okay, I'll start with what I call a line drawing of a face, and then I'll show the exaggerations of everything, but then I'll show. Then I'll add in shading and everything like that to show the what that does to a drawing. How
You're going to do this right out of your head? Amazing.
So we start out with a eye.
What makes you start with an eye?
Oh,
I mean, that's right in the middle of the face. Don't you start with the outside or the top?
It's like what you said. It's the window to the world. So it's got to be
That's
great.
great. Do you always start with the eye, or you just feel like at the moment?
No, I would like to be. I would like to think I'm temperamental. So whatever hits me at the moment.
So right now you're starting with an eye. Another time you might start with a nose or a wisdom tooth. Okay,
Ooh,
I won't interrupt you. Go ahead. Let's hear your thought process.
I'm
while
actually
you do it.
gonna might get braces, so I might start. with, you might see some weird teeth in the X-Men from now on, but you start out with whatever you want, and I love constructing things. So what I'll do is what we call line drawings. I'll delineate everything. I'll like in the piece I showed earlier.
Yeah.
I'll outline everything so that I'll have a basis. It'll be like I have a palette, a map to work with when I try to create, I'm adding the shading to create a mood. So you got to have eyes. So we got eyes. You got to have a schnauzer. So
and you're real good at anatomy. You know that the nose comes between the eyes, right?
Yeah, that's one thing a lot of people don't really know. See, as an artist, since we don't have models in front of us, we have to construct everything. We have to see everything in our head. So like when we're doing an arm, the bicep is in the front, guys, tricep is in the back, split up into 3 groups. There's an elbow underneath that. Everything has to fall in place. So while we're drawing, even though we're not consciously voicing out all those little rules and whatever you want to call them, we're constantly thinking about those.
That's interesting. An artist in comic books doesn't use models, unlike many advertising artists and illustrators.
Yeah, they cheat.
Yeah. So you've really got to have it in your head.
Yeah.
Do you find when you draw, you're almost tracing an image that you have in your mind? I mean, do you see the picture in your mind before you draw it?
The best drawings are drawings that you see.
In your mind?
In your mind. When you're not drawing, when you don't see it in your head, you're ad-libbing. And that actually can be real fun too, because if it does come out great, then it's, wow, what an accomplishment. I didn't know what I was doing. It's like stand-up,
Yeah.
and the crowd's just not working with you. But then something happens, you just say something and they react to it, and then you just jump on that.
I got you.
So that's actually a lot of drawing, just playing with what you have. And that's actually the funnest part, just seeing where everything goes.
I'm trying to, but if you keep talking with your hands, we're never going to. Oh, Lordy, this is good.
Okay, so let's have him screaming.
He looks very intense, doesn't he?
Yeah, so let's have him screaming. So
this is not a happy guy.
Yeah. Oh, and kids, don't try this. If you stretch your mouth out this big, something bad might happen. But you know, like all comics are, well, the best comics are exaggeration because we're doing fantastical people in fantastic situations. Actually, that's one of my little philosophies. We have these fantastic heroes. I mean, Bobby Drake can turn into ice. Archangel has these metal wings that not only can he fly, but they can slice through things.
That's fantastic.
From the people you hang out, that might be normal everyday things, but so one of one of my little things, or whatever you want to call it, is to take these fantastic situations with these fantastic people and try to ground them in some kind of reality.
Draw.
You know, real light logic, real looking buildings, or
I got you.
things
That's right.
that you know, things that aren't real, but somehow make them look real
You
by adding
combine
clues.
the reality with
Right.
the fantasy.
Right, so that when you
No,
look
I
at
can use my hands, but you keep drawing. I'll talk with my hands,
actually,
you talk with
where
your
the
mouth.
chains. But yeah, if at least I feel that if you can somehow ground them in reality, not too much reality, because you know this is fantasy. Everything is larger than life. But if you can somehow ground it in some kind of reality, then the kids, I would think, would be saying, wow, that's what it would look like if,
Yeah.
if it were real.
I know what you mean. And you can talk so sweet and draw something so horrifying. That's incredible. Now look, I don't want to act like I'm smarter than anybody else, but I'm going to guess that's a villain. What do you think, huh? Now
Well,
people will think
actually,
you told me.
With the current trends, though,
Yeah, you don't
never
know.
know.
You're right, you don't know. That's great.
It's a tough
I think the
one.
amazing thing, I've got to tell everybody watching that he is not drawing over any hidden blue lines. This wasn't pre-sketched or anything, and it's coming out. You know, when you said kids don't try this, I thought you were going to say, our screamers are professionals and they're well trained, but don't you try this.
Actually, you know, Marvel screamers are screamers into themselves. But here I'm trying to construct everything. So you know, you got your two eyes, you got your nose, you got your teeth, you got your mouth, so that I'm trying to lay down a map, a groundwork for what I'm going to be doing later on, which is shading. And actually, another point, one of the best things any artist can do, whether he's just a beginning artist or whether he's a quote-unquote professional artist, is to constantly draw. If you constantly
agree with
draw,
that, yeah.
then it doesn't really become
So
second
how come
nature.
I can't get you to constantly draw? Keep drawing and keep telling us about the second nature. You've got a camera. That camera is so expensive, and it's concentrating on this, and all it's getting is a hand going like that. Now you keep drawing and tell me all about it. See if you can do that. What did they say about the
Actually,
guy who couldn't-
where's the gum? Where's the gum?
Yeah, I was going to say he couldn't talk and chew gum at the same time. I'm going to teach you to draw and talk at the same time. Whilce, if you keep going and you draw any more of this, you're going to terrify the whole human race. We better stop. And the most important thing, how would you shade this to get the maximum amount of drama out of it?
Okay, like I said before, what you want to start out with is laying down a basic grid work, a map, so to speak. So you know where all the planes are, and what you want to do is shade them out. Okay, so this is a screamer guy. Okay, so
Right,
he
obviously.
So you want a dark mood to it. So one of the easiest things is a light on top, casting shadows down. So let's try that.
You'll have a bulb up here, and it's casting the shadows down there. Go! Gives me such a feeling of power to say that.
Okay, good.
You have to be a contortionist to be an artist also, I can see that.
Oh, actually, I do some of my best drawings on the ground with my knees up on
Really?
here. But actually,
Anybody ever tell you you're a very strange guy?
a lot of people tell me I'm not normal.
I didn't say that.
I like being different. I like being unique.
Well,
you
you're
know?
succeeding beautifully. All right, we're shading this guy in now, right?
You're right. The nose would cast down a shadow.
Coming from under the nose, right?
The eyes would
Under the
cast down a
eyes,
shadow.
yeah.
You want to add little accents underneath everything. Okay, like these are ridges. So the bottom of everything would catch everything. If the light was here, then these sides over here would be catching the dark shadow.
Gotcha, right?
And then this
Don't make it look too easy, which you're doing, I must admit. You know, the funny thing is everything you're doing is really so right that when one watches you do it, the first thing one thinks of is, well, of course. I mean, that's the way I would do it. How else could you do it? You know, it's easy.
Well, see, that's I think that's the magic. I mean, I really believe that you
man.
should study life,
Yeah.
and because when
Well, where are you going
like
to
you
find
said,
a guy like that to study?
no, but see, actually, what you do is everything is a composite of everything. These are, you know,
Right, right.
even though you don't, you know, on people, you don't see lighting and lines like this on everybody. It's
Or teeth like that.
Or teeth like that. Right? It's representational
I know,
of what's
yeah,
what reality is all about.
But you see, it's a matter of taste also, and
Right.
of knowledge and of artistic ability, because even to know to leave it rough there and leave that white space, which is so much better than if you had blackened the whole inside of the mouth, right?
Right. Actually, that's actually this has been a trend right now to not actually fully blacken everything out, to act as if the top of the brows are reflecting off
But
light.
it's beautiful. It makes it look alive. And
Well, you can see so much more of it.
you could have destroyed me if you had said, well, actually, Stan, I was intending to blacken that in. I just didn't get around to it yet. Oh, that is great, Whilce. That really is.
So, actually, one of the things. Okay, this is a guy going crazy. So everything you want to do, every line. Well, not every line, but most of the lines you do, you want to emphasize that. So, let's give them.
Why the
long
new pen?
beer
Was that
style.
getting dry?
It
or-
was
Yep,
going.
okay.
I actually murder all my pens. They
Yeah, I
hate
can
me.
see that.
They cringe when I walk into the art store.
Leave enough space to autograph it, because this one isn't getting away from me.
But
I
see-
think it's just terrific.
See, every line, since it's erratic, in an erratic character, in what you might call an unstable mind frame, everything has to delineate that, to show that.
I'd say he's not well adjusted. Now, you're going to sign that, and then we have another treat for our viewers.
But then, you know, on the other side of the spectrum, if I was drawing a nice, pretty girl who, the girl next door type, she would have very little lines, and she would be real soft.
We'll get to that. How do you sign your name?
This
I
has
wanna
been a
see.
bone of contention amongst everybody.
Really? Why is that?
You got to look real closely.
All right,
Watch
I'm
careful.
watching. I'm watching.
Since this is a videotape, here's an extra. My full name is William Cashano Portacio. Now watch very closely.
I'm watching.
William Cashano Portacio.
Is that really the way you do it? That's wonderful.
Actually, and then just to make it a little special, what I do is I sign Whilce in Japanese.
In Japanese? Can you write Japanese?
No, I grew up a little bit in Hawaii, so I had a lot of Japanese
Son
friends.
of a
so they
gun.
taught
Oh,
me
that's
how to do
great.
that.
All right. Somebody would have to kill to get this away from me. I'm keeping that. I think it's wonderful. And I'm glad you signed it. And it goes right on the wall. You owe me some money, you know, because I'll have to pay money to have it framed. But I'll send you the bill later. Now, the surprise I promised everybody. How about, I know we don't have too much time. We've got about 15 minutes of tape left. But how about trying to do as much as you can of a complete comic book page, just so people would see how you think about it, what goes into it. You've got a page to do. A hero is chasing a villain, okay? The chase starts here, and it's going to end on the bottom of the page where he catches the villain. I'm going to leave the rest of it up to you. You now have 14 minutes. Go. What's taking you so long?
Okay, first
ahead.
thing I do is
But keep drawing while you talk.
first
Okay.
thing I do is in my head. Okay, I think out the basics of the whole thing. Okay, first we'll establish where they are. Okay, let's say
They're in a box.
they're in a box. Okay, let's say the villain is on top of a building. So, there's the villain, and the hero is just nonchalantly walking down the street. So we've established relationships where
Okay.
they are.
This would be the first
Now
panel?
this is actually just what I'm thinking in my head.
Oh, where it's taking place. You're
Right,
setting
I'm
the
trying to
scene.
construct it in
Gotcha.
my head.
Okay.
Okay, so then let's say we want to then go to the villain voicing out a challenge.
Yeah.
You know,
That's him shouting. That's his open mouth.
right.
Okay.
Then I guess you want the hero reacting, he wouldn't be smiling. But this is just these are just pretty